Hey, Freddy DeMarco here at NAMM 2020 with Darkglass at the Chord booth at NAMM show. So we have some new pedals. I'm real excited about this Harmonic Booster. This is a clean booster for bass. So I could simply just kick this in and use it pretty flat, keep the EQs flat, and it will not change the integrity of my sound. Up to 20 dBs in boost, also cut. So all the tone controls and the boost is a plus minus 20 dB booster cut. So then I have a low end here. Now I can color this if I want. The bass frequency focuses around 80 hertz, plus or minus, which means I could get rid of an unwanted frequency or enhance a frequency. The treble focuses around 5K. And then the mid sweep from 250 to 2.5. Now you can get some really, I'll boost the mid gain and I'll change the frequency. What's very unique about this pedal is the character knob is like a second EQ that works interactively with the actual treble and bass. So listen to it like I could dial in a real throaty tone here. I'm boosting this part of the mid and right here. Not boosting too much high end. If I change the character and the mid frequency, boost the bass, boost the treble. So a very focused pedal, but it's very versatile. A clean boost for bass, which is a great complement to Darkglass, because most of the Darkglass circuits, with the exception of the Hyper Luminal pedal, are all going to be crunch, fuzz, distortion, overdrive. This is a good answer to a clean boost. Talking about that, we have a new version of the X7. We have the Microtubes X Ultra. It's like the X7, 2 more bands of EQ, but now for cabinet simulation, you can access the impulse response, which you can play direct now with cabinet simulation, get into the computer and change it up and dial things in a little bit more with this guy. What's unique about this, obviously, is just going to be the sound of the drive has a very modern focus to it. I can go all the way down to 50 hertz, which is sub-frequencies, or dial in a more mid-range. And I also have a sweepable high-end EQ, in addition to, of course, the graphic. What's great about this pedal is you have the high level and high drive. So, for example, if I bypass the distortion and keep it in, I still got all the EQ. If I kick into distortion, the distortion circuit comes in, and I can blend that level. But what's unique about this pedal, other than the other pedals, and it's drawn from the original X7, is that it has its own low level and low VCA compressor for that. So it can still hold the bottom and adjust that. All the other pedals, the low end stays in there, but it's fixed at unity gain. This one offers that. And I'll just kind of go through some of the drive sounds real quick. Pedal is the Alpha Omega Ultra. It's an expansion of the Ultra Omega, so it adds the EQ, also the impulse responses, and the connectivity to the computer for obviously the cabinet simulations and all that for direct recording or playing. It has a growl switch, which puts some low end enhancement and bite on the distortion, and then a bite, which puts some high end bite. So the Alpha distortion, in comparison to the Omega, you have a sweepable change there. So the Alpha is going to be more refined, where the Omega is more misbehaving. So a lot of flexibility there. And you had asked about this Hyper Luminal. This came out actually last year. A very great compressor for bass. Now this one also has connectivity USB, so you could change up some things in there, ratio and different responses. But it has 3 different compressors. The bus compressor is based off an SSL console compressor, and you have different ratios. and then a blend switch, so I could have my original single just blending. So one way to run it is really crush the compression and then just blend a little bit of that in. Then we have their compressor, which is a Darkglass compressor, and then the FET compressor is based off an 1176. A real interesting thing, an 1176, very sought after compressor, has what they call a 4-button move, where it just super misbehaves it into limiting. This actually emulates that. If I go one more click on the ratio, notice it lights up, and it's the 4-button move, and you get massive compression. I could just blend that to make it a little more realistic, just have a little bit of that in there. Expanding its dynamic range. Out of the signal. In. There you got it. So Freddy DeMarco with Darkglass NAMM 2020.